This is Friends and Brands. I am Mark Wilkins.
I'm Nick Beam.
Durag Dev.
Yeah, Durag Dev, my brother. And he came in the presence, man, in the flesh. We got you out.
Yeah, appreciate you coming to kick it, family.
Yes, sir. Man, it's been a long time, bro. It's been a long time, man. Happy to see you, bro. Happy to see you.
2013, 14.
Man, bro. Yeah. Yes, sir. About 13, man. It's been a minute, brother.
Agenda and Magic.
Yeah, Agenda.
Who were you with?
Bro, I was there with, that's back when I was with, like, Basic Math. We was all, like, with Young and Reckless, all them. Yeah.
Right, but who was the cat? Was it an actor you were? I'm trying to remember.
Michael
was
B.
it Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Okay, so I was
yeah.
telling I was telling my mom, and I was like, "Yo, I swear it was Michael B. Jordan who was with him." She was like, "Shut up, you didn't." Yeah, I was
No, that was, yeah.
And she was trying to tell me like, "You didn't meet him," and I was like, "I'm like, yo, I'm telling you, this is like 2014."
Yeah.
I was like, he wasn't that popping yet. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
this was before Creed, bro, because he was working on Creed.
Right.
And right after Fruitville. Yep.
But I had went to LA, and actually this homegirl put me onto him because she had a recording studio and she did acting, and she showed me a film that like she was in, and it was like some like pilot plane movie or something like that. Yeah,
bro, that's crazy. That was back like 13, 14, man. So, man, what you got going on, bro? Tell us what's popping. The people want to know what's going on.
What's popping?
Hold on, first.
What's not
the
popping?
Genesis of Durag Dev.
Yeah.
Like,
The
tell us how
Genesis.
that.
Take us way back from the time.
Durag Dev. Okay, I'm gonna get you because even just that in itself, Durag Dev. So basically, actually, that comes from the Revenge tour. So actually, here in Vegas, Ski Mask came and did a show, and he was already wearing the durags, and he wanted some more. So I popped up to the show. And afterwards, like, you know, everyone was doing their little fan thing, and I just kind of chilled. And he was like, yo, let's go drink. And so we ended up getting some Hennessy, and I was like the only other person who was down for the VSOP Hennessy. And so we ended up grabbing some bottles. Right. And so actually, it almost wasn't too far from here at all, actually, to be honest. Somewhere, like, the first night was at, like, Hard Rock, and then the second, like, from there, we was at some ghetto hotel.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we linked up there. We had like 5 crazy days, no sleep, strip clubs, products, and professionals,
all that,
and
all that good shit.
And you know, we at that time he asked me to do his merch, and so this is like ex just out of jail, out of prison. He puts me on FaceTime with him. He was like, "Yo." They're about to go on tour, and he was like, "Yo, I want to bring him along for merch."
Nice.
And so basically, my ad was Devin Luxois at the time because I was doing like Luxois, but the durags were starting to go off, and basically it was, Travis's stylist at the time, Kyle Liu, who was like, "Yo, Dev, you need to embody the durags more and take the face of it."
Travis Scott.
And so, his stylist.
Okay, you gotta say the full name.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So his stylist Kyle Liu told me to embrace the durags more, and so at that time they were really like, that's when that wave was really like moving good. I'm trying to like click in mentally right now.
Yeah.
And then I was around, and it was like, so I'd never wore durags.
Yeah.
But because I made them, Ski and X, they started calling me Durag Dev. Cause it was like, I brought, so we go on like literally 2 days before tour is when I got like, I'm with him 2 days before tour. He's like, "Yo, do you want to come on tour?" So he throws me on FaceTime with X, and it was just hilarious cause X gets on and he gives me a up down on FaceTime somehow, and I was like, "This giving me a up down on."
Yeah. He like checking you.
And he says what's up, and he hands the phone back to Ski, and he goes, "Fuck you," and he was like, "He's fresh," and so
this X.
Tentacion.
Yes.
XXXTentacion.
Rest in peace. That's what I'm saying. When you say
right
the names,
there.
we know who you talk about. But the viewer gotta know. I know who you saying. He know you saying, but you gotta let him know.
If I say Ja, same thing, because usually I really just call him Ja. Ja say, because that would like that's how a couple of his contacts would be on my phone, which is Ja.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I get brought on a tour. I bring like a bunch of durags with me. And we're doing a thing. That's when we're working. So I come in immediately, and we're working on Revenge. We're starting, like, VR was a part of Revenge at that same time. So I was brought in on that project. And then from there, we started separating VR, which stood for Very Rare. That's what was tatted on, like, X on his rib cage, and then Ski had it on his face and stuff. Yep. And so basically, they put me on a straight up 50-50 deal. Oh, but it was like, yo, run everything from A to Z, and you know what I mean? Like you run this, you do it, you design it. So I did everything. I just designed it. I sent it into production. At that point, my production was already tight, so I could literally be in another state and send in the design, and they would manufacture it, package it up, and then ship it out to whatever city we were in. Wow. So it was just like, it was good to go like that. And so we're just going through tour, living moments, crazy tour, super grateful to even be a part of that like moment in history. I had a talk with full name Made in Tokyo. Okay. Actually, I was just on. He just called me last night. We had an hour-long FaceTime. Like, that boy talks, and we had a whole convo about Billie Eilish, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But anyways, like, that's someone that I talk with a lot. Me and him have coincidentally, me and Made in Tokyo have taken quite a bit of trips to Tokyo. Together. So there we really like built the foundation of like our friendship, and that's someone I actually can say like, yo, that's my brother. Like, he's there like when I'm down in the depression to come and like pick me up and let me know like who I am, and so like after tour, like I modeled the which, and this leads into things. So coming off a tour, like I had this tattoo, which that was another thing. X saw me and immediately was like, I fuck with you. Yeah. And it was, as you know how as intense as he is. Like, he just saw the shotgun gun. He saw the Naruto inspiration, was just, I fuck with you. And so like, and he was just honestly, he was amazing like that. Like, and I got to have honestly really crazy like intimate moments with him, to the point where I left tour for a couple days. I didn't know his music. I came back to tour, and I said, yo, I listened to your stuff while I was on a plane, and I really like your slow music. And he's like, what? And I was like, you do? And I was like, yeah, bro, that's your best stuff. And so he kicks everyone else off the back of the tour bus. Because we got the front part's the living room with the video games and the kitchen. Then the middle part is the 6 bunks, and then the studio's in the back. And so he kicks everyone and locks the door for the back thing, and he was like, yo, look, honestly, I've been nervous to really sing because all these cats are so Florida, gunning, aggressing, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so he was just like, I'm hesitant to get really there in my singing, and so kicks everyone off that section, and literally the whole day, he's just singing to me, just going through his phone, just notes in his phone, just singing random bits he has. And that's where I really got to like click in with him mentally, and for us to kind of realize we're on the same like universal pool. Yeah. And we just had a lot of the same inspirations and a lot of the same likes, and essentially that's what pulls us all together in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone in this room right now, we're all pulled together here for the things that we have, our common interests. Yeah. And so a lot of that was recognized during that time. And I was actually really like pulled in from Ski. So this was actually a little bit of a funny interaction here. Right. Yeah. So you got to see, like, I'm pulled in from Ski Mask, but like X is over here like, come on, like pulling me this way, like, yo, take my chain. Yeah. Like, and like Ski's over there like watching what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? And nice. So later that is kind of a thing right now in this moment, like me and Ski are actually not on speaking terms, and it's probably because later on when him and X weren't cool, like basically I was still a friend to X, and so that ended up being a thing. But anyway, so we come off, so that's where the name Durag Dev came from, because the whole tour, everyone on the tour, I had the Durags with me, and they were like, Durag Dev, and so then that's another thing. Ski's really good. That boy got an amazing voice at the same time, and a hilarious ass voice. So he's just all day Durag Dev. So anyway, and so coming on tour, he's, for some reason, he was really magnetized to me. So he's calling me constantly. So everywhere we're at, he Durag Dev. So next thing you know, like Rob Banks and X and Kid Trunks and Craig Zen and who else was on there? Just everyone, Durag Dev, like it just, and it had its own tone, and so it stuck. So eventually I switched my @ name to that, because like that's, the videos are like coming out, and that's where they're calling me, and I'm like, yo, it just felt like that's where the energy was.
Connected, yeah.
And around that time, I only had my neck done. So I come off tour, and I kind of start putting some focus back into the Durags at the same time. Like we're really launching VR, and I headed straight to Japan after the tour. That is my serenity place.
Yeah, bro.
That was ultimately the creation of me. So 7 years ago, I went there and I lived there for a year.
Word.
And I learned how to speak, read, and write. And I actually studied like everything from their fashion, their culture. And that's where I was really up late at night. Didn't know if I wanted to have a store or a brand. And it was actually so coincidentally through the studying of Nigo that I decided to go ahead and start a brand, an empire myself, because I saw the way that Bape was tied in culturally into Japan's society. It was on the grandpas, it was on the grandkids, you know what I mean? It was on the little babies walking around. It was on the 60-year-old dude when we go to the izakaya, like he got the Bape jeans on it. They had, Bape salon, Bape cuts. He wanted to do Bape hotel.
Oh, that's
it
crazy.
was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was embedded.
Yeah, it was a thing.
It was embedded, and so like at that point, that was a obvious switch to me.
Yeah.
So big fast forward back. So go back to Japan. Extra Large was doing a collab with Naruto at the time. They ended up asking me to model it, and because it was like Sasuke pieces, and they're like, yo, we gotta have this kid do it. So I actually come off that tour, I land in LAX, and lo and behold, I had already been in contact with his DJ, J-Mac, because me and him were internet friends, FaceTiming about anime before we actually ever met in person or ever hung out like that. And so I come off LAX from Japan. J-Mac and Made in Tokyo are coming in from some show in LAX. So we land in LAX the same time, just so happen to hit each other, catch each other in the departure, go to the lot, smoke. Made in Tokyo's vibes right out the beginning was amazing. He sees me, he's like, yo, you are fucking it. You hit culture. He goes, you don't understand. No one else can do it. You did it. And I was just like, yo, like, this cat is like a famous rapper, and he's like off the intro, he's sitting here praising me, and so it was just crazy. The humility, the genuineness that he showed right from the jump was like unparalleled.
Yeah.
And so that was the beginning of our brothership and really just leading on. We haven't even really like worked together yet. Like I said, him and J-Mac are really just people that I like talk to on a general life basis. Like, so then going on future Tokyo trips where they're doing performances and I'm doing Durag events. I'm doing the Durag pop-up barbershop, and they're just kind of there in Tokyo, and so like we're just completely there for it at the same time. And he had his little like relationship hiccups online, so literally like to the point of me trying to leave him, he's talking my ear off for 3 hours like at the club, then leaving the club. And it was just like it was just like a quick and honestly I have a really good universal attraction with somehow just clicking with artists quick. And it was the same way when I met Ski and X. Ski specifically, he was like, yo, you're the only person who didn't ask me for a photo these 2 days. Let's get a flick together. I'm about to post it. I'm about to clout you up. And this was when like the beginning of the word clout was happening. So it was like cool, So it was like he was like, yo, I'm about to clout you up. And so like VR, pulling me tight, and he was just, yo, let me get the Twitter, let me get the Instagram, and so it was just like, I don't know, it was constantly like cool vibes from artists all the time. So anyway, segueing in, we go back into more Japan trips, and my artist out there, he really just does my tattoos for free. So like he shaped up my neck. He did like this little one here. I got this little like made in Japan right here. He started doing.
Oh, that's crazy.
So like
Japan.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So
that's
like
dope.
Right. So then like he literally was the first person to like touch my hand and then like take it all the way, like start taking it up for me.
Word.
So it was just like
that's the skin, bro.
like on
that's your skin.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so it became like that. And so what began happening is as I'm eventually I made that move to LA. So when you met me, I was here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I was really just like in Japan so much. I was just traveling.
Bro, most of the time I hit you up, you like, I'm in Japan, bro.
Right, I'm in Japan.
I'm in Japan. Let me
and
go.
so I mean, and it was because even not last year, the year before, I was going to Japan literally once a month.
Yeah.
So I was going like crazy. And so then literally it was like a thing that was just starting to like, I was getting the tattoos, I was staying consistent with it, I was watching the anime like crazy, and next thing you know, I am walking on Fairfax, or I'm walking in Tokyo, and I start realizing that these kids, they're stopping me and they're asking me photos, but they're not looking at my face off first glance, they're looking at my arm and my neck. So they're noticing me for the tattoos.
Right.
So like, at this point, this is like, X had been done with Revenge. This is when X actually like was asking me to creative direct Bad Vibes Forever, and Ski really wasn't doing too much in general. So like VR had slowed down. We were able to run with the Rags for a while because of Gucci Ghost Trouble Andrews. So he was the creative director of Gucci for a while.
Yeah.
He basically gave me the pass to not get the cease and desist from them. Well, eventually that pass
expired.
Right. Just like any pass does.
Yeah.
When he's no longer sitting, in the house,
Right.
Yeah. That pass is no longer there. So literally Gucci takes the Instagram on Black Friday a year ago from like right around now. And I just so happened to be making this like the shirt for myself. And so I was like, yo, let me mess around and make this shirt with my tattoo print on it and rock it. And I have a feeling that like literally just my Japanese fans are like gonna want this. And so like little precursor into that, going to Japan, I was at a bar, super small, like this table. I meet this cat, and I could tell like he had that whole hip hop vibe. He ends up being like the Chris Brown of Japan.
Oh shoot!
And so he introduces me to this company called LDH. It's a whole conglomerate. So under them, they have the biggest pop stars signed to them. Yeah. Under music, under fashion, they have Nigo, Dr. Romanelli, Verbal, Pogi.
All of them.
Yeah, right. Then under cuisine, they have like all these high-end Nobu restaurants and other types, and they got hair salons, and they got anything you can consume they created.
Yeah.
So a real conglomerate. Well, I start meeting the artists slowly, and next thing you know, that ends up really being like my circle out there.
Yeah.
So there's a combination of like me taking trips to Japan by myself, also with Americans like Gabe. And so I was going a lot with in the beginning I was going a lot with, he went by Uzi and then changed his name to Gabe 3, who was the videographer for like early Ye stuff and Ye videos and Drake videos. He was like the epitome of the glitch camera effect. Yeah. So he's the one that first did that for 40 ounce and literally like put that into motion.
Word.
And so basically trips with him, trips with some other people, and really just hitting Japan a lot and building that natural, like that audience, that engagement.
Yeah.
And then through the people there themselves, I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I met this cat named Ellie, also goes by Crazy Boy. And like I said, I didn't know he was the Chris Brown of Japan. We just hit it off like brothers. All our, like, you would have thought we were twins. We sat down at the table. You could have put no labels or covered everything up. We'd pick all the same foods, like same taste. You know what I mean? Just that weird, like,
down to the T.
So that he would show me like, yo, like, you're not gonna like this, you're gonna like this, and sure enough, I try this. Yep, fine. And so like, and it just got, and like, so we just like,
that's crazy,
clicked, and we were just running quick. Did like Coachella, and I was running around with him, and like, I didn't realize how, like, he had stands. He had that fan base in Japan. And he put me out there like his brother, like his brother.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, cool with his mom's, the whole nine. Like, she's calling me her second son, whoop-de-whoop.
Right.
And so that really built that up. So I'm walking back. I'm in LA and I'm walking on Fairfax, and I start to see the Japanese people stop me, and they're like, "Yo, can I get a photo?" And I was like,
That's
yo,
crazy.
like, and so I'm like, not only now was it in Japan where they
US.
stopping me and asking me, and it started to be a thing where like, it started being a daily thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like blown away. I was like, yo, this is crazy. And then it turned into like a thing where it transformed back to the US and LA. And that's when I was like, yo, I gotta make this shirt for me. And then I wore it, and then I was going to events, and then like it just resonated with people. And as soon as I made it and I wore it one time, I was like, oh, this is it. Yeah. And so my mindset at that time, like, so the Revenge is done. Me and Ski are no longer working on VR. Gucci hit us with the cease and desist, took away the Instagram. So what better timing did I have to literally start my own product? And so I was like, yo, I'm just gonna really start this from like a grassroots kind of basis. And so it was literally, I was like, yo, I'm not even worried about crazy. And I came from like X's tour doing millions with Revenge, you know what I mean? Like just in general revenue numbers. The Durags were doing crazy numbers themselves. So I came from like high demand projects. And so I came into it knowing like, hey, like this isn't gonna go crazy off the start. Like, and I really came from with a mindset of like, this is from me for them. Exactly. And I think honestly, like the authenticity in that energy really like transferred to the people, and they really like, they felt it. And I mean, and it was real. Like you know, you got to realize there's 900 episodes of Naruto. Like, I put time into being
research.
Right. Nonetheless, and I mean, this design obviously, like, it was altered, so it's not exact. Like, it was just pulling the inspiration though. Like, there's a couple other tattoo pieces are inspired from anime as well. But just really like, since I was young, loving the Japanese culture, being extremely fascinated, and obviously like, you know, then learning Japanese, and then it just so happens Tokyo is one of the fashion capitals of the world. So in that stuff, like, then it was like, oh, like destiny just smacked me in the face, where it's like, okay, you're right in the fucking clique, because you went and you just so happen to love Japan, and then Tokyo ends up being such a fashion thing, and then this, and then this, and then everything just comes full circle. And so my bad. I know I just kept talking.
No, you good. Okay. No, this
I didn't know, because y'all only got to ask one question before I started.
You good, bro.
We're kicking a conversation.
Right. Nah, I feel it.
The story's amazing, bro.
I could talk. That's why it's good.
All
right, I'm just making sure you good.
It's all you, baby.
All right, baby. Let's go. All right,
what it do, baby?
We lit, baby.
Yeah,
All right,
bro.
perfect. So, like I said, coming into this, really like, yo, this is from me for them. These Japanese, I saw the way the Japanese fans, I was like, yo, it hit me. It's like, they don't care what I'm selling. They just want to buy what I'm making. Because when I did a collaboration out there on a whole different brand, they lined up for it and went crazy. And like, I was signing, and this was for like this company called 24 Carats, and I was doing something, but just because I designed the collection and did the like the pop-up, like the kids were lining up, and I walk away and they're like, this is the first time they're having me like sign iPhones and like apparel and stuff like that, and I'm just like, what, me? Huh? Why? Huh? But and I'm just tripping, like,
you tripping
getting in, and I'm tripping out. I'm like, y'all crazy, and like I wouldn't even sign at first. I'm like, I'm not signing your phone. I'm like, I'm not signing your phone. Like I was like, like what? Like
they probably was sad about that.
Like I kept, and I speak Japanese, so like I'm like, Jamajide, like. Like I'm like really asking, like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm really asking them, and so, you know, sure enough, I realized like, yo, they really just want whatever I'm making, and so, one of my business partners from Durags, he would say like that my Instagram marketing is good, and so I think marketing was something I actually had like a knack for. I had like took the pre-test. Actually at UNLV right across the street, and I got and the pre-test was the post-test, so it was the final, and I got a A- on the pre-test the first day, and so they were like, yo, you can't take this. So like I just understood marketing from like a common sense like point of view. And so going into that project, I just kind of like, you got to keep in mind, I had the tattoos for a couple years, and then I posted the picture of like the inspiration on my Instagram and just put moo ha 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 ha, like a year before the release. And then 3-4 months out, I'm making the shirt, and then I'm posting in the shirt, and then I'm posting in the hoodie, and then I'm posting in the Vault hoodie color. And then that's when Virgil had the picture came out for the Volt shoe, and I was like, yo, Volt is going to be the color. And so I knew that was going to be the color. And I was like, people are going to need something to wear with this damn shoe. And so
Yes.
I'm like, and I'm posting it. Durag Dev. I'm taking a picture of the screen with the print. I'm just doing all the little right things that I didn't even know I was doing right. Honestly, just
doing
all
shit.
and really all the way of like teasing people. You know what V Lone did, but on a much quicker time scale because everyone's attention spans are so much shorter.
Yeah.
So luckily, I didn't need to wait as long. We don't need to wait as long now.
Yeah, bro.
What used to be that 2-year build up can now be done in like 3-4 months.
Yeah.
And so coming into it, teasing it, people asking when. And then this is when I'm learning like the power of reactions. And so I like took a picture of a bunch of the Volt hoodies and I was like comment with the like the throwing up vomit in, but it looks like
emoji.
It looks like slime. And I'm like I comment that. I'm like comment if you need this, and it got like 300 comments. And I only had 10,000 followers. To get 300 comments with 10,000 followers, like that's something you have when you have 1 million.
Yeah. That's people like literally wanted to be a part of something that you was doing.
Right. And so I'm literally like, and I'm like, yo, let me try this again. And so I do another one, another like 250. And I was like, okay, and like story reactions. And so like, and just cool little like confirmations, like Cole Bennett hitting me like, yo, Dev, this is the one. Made in Tokyo hitting me, yo, Dev, sadly, X never got to see it, and it's crazy because I knew this was something that he really would have loved. Oh, yeah. And I'm gonna kind of get back into like why that's such a big thing.
Go for it.
And so basically, I'm rolling this out. I'm talking with. I ended up in a couple of the AWGE videos.
Yeah.
And so the dude Jimmy Regular who shot those, I guess had been following me since Lux Swan. He was like, bro, I've always admired your determination to just continue. Like, he's like, I've seen you just keep powering through projects and just never stop. And he was like, I fuck with your work mentality. And he was like, not to mention, like, you came up with the Gucci Durag. That's genius. Obviously, like, you know, he's like, I'm with Rocky. He did I got a lot on my head. Gucci on my head. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, I'm in it. I'm seeing it. Obviously, you know, Travis blew it up and did his thing. Like, and so, so he does a little pre-video for me. I actually tried to bring him to Japan, and so we set up. Luckily, over the years, and they didn't even want to work with me at first. So I'm giving these durags to the store called Great Tokyo, GR8.
Yes, GR8
and so
Tokyo,
that is the store where like Virgil and Heron and Jerry and everyone does their pop-ups. You know, they do everything from like Off-White, Palm Angels, Heron Preston to Balenciaga, Prada, Burberry,
they like
Balmain, you know what I mean? Like, so they're hitting your high end, they're hitting your now what's high end, you know what I mean? Your streetwear, and like they're hitting it all. Yeah. And so I established a relationship with him over the years, and so I'm like, yo, I need to launch this new project. Kubo, can I launch this with an event at your store? And he was all about it.
Hell yeah.
And so I was just like, yo, this is about to go crazy. And also like Gucci Ghost was into it. I'm trying to remember. It's just like, I just had really cool confirmations and affirmations from people and like just a really good valid, natural feedback. And, you know, so just going into it, we go and we do the launch at Great Tokyo, and line, crazy people, amazing reaction, basically sells out right away. There's just like some pieces left in like a couple of the small sizes and the white because everyone wanted the Volt. And so it was like, it was like an ordering error, and they knew that later. They messed up and they ordered more white than the Volt.
I was just about to ask you, how did you determine that?
They ordered, and so like I released my online site at the same time. I went live online at the same time that we did the pop up. So it was like a dual, like, yo, we're going live worldwide and we're doing the pop up at the same time. Yeah. And so it was like absolutely amazing reaction. Online goes crazy. The event goes crazy. I had a ton of friends there to promote it, or like just to be there to support it. Yeah. And I had like good timing. Like Kevin Ma from Hypebeast was in town. He saw it. He liked it. Came through. Like, so Hypebeast had posted it. Hi somebody. Like all like Japan's like media, and it just kind of rolled from there. And so then I do the after party. At that time, I had just started learning how to DJ, and so we literally we get the party going, and I got everyone there like Verdi, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like I got the Japanese essentials. So it's like the blogger, the big blogger people, the cat from Ready Made.
Crazy.
You know, Verdi's there, and Verdi DJ'd the after party. Like, you know what I mean? I'm starting it off the right way, and it was just, you know, to really hit, and it did, and it went off right, and it resonated with people, and they were loving it, and it was like a sequel to the previous event that I had done there with 24 Carats, and it was like signing a bunch of shirts and hoodies and phones and bags, and there were people flying in from other cities in Japan to come to it. There was like a girl from China. There was like a couple people from Korea. Like, it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
And so honestly, like literally just like amazing reaction initially from the jump. Yeah. And from there, like, then we jump over and we go and do the event in Korea. I'm actually saying we, but it was really just me at this point.
But you got
so the reason I'm saying we is because literally as of today, I just started a group message with like a management operations team that like involves the factory. So I actually came here fired the fuck up, like literally screaming. I haven't even slept yet. Like, came here screaming, like, because like literally just all the energy really just resonated the right way. And so that's what's crazy about all this. So even through all these, like, this great moment and this great drop and this great momentum from the beginning, following suit, did the Korea pop-up. That goes crazy as well. Come back to the U.S., try to set up an LA pop-up. Tom from Joy Rich wants to do it at Wild Style. He gets one hoodie from me. Billy ends up going to Joy Rich. She sees the hoodie, asks him for it, and I knew it. I was like, yo, this is Billy's style. This is her swag. She's going to love this. Yeah. And sure enough, she saw it, asked him for it. He willingly gave it to her because he's like, yo, if she could take it and wear it and we do an event, like, that means more. He was like, that means, you know, he's like, if you're more popping, my store's more popping, and our event together is more lit.
Everybody
so
eats
he was
beef.
all about the seating, and that was that like looking at, and don't get me wrong, it was beneficial for him as well, but he was really like looking out, like he was going through his influencer list,
that was real,
and he was going through like who he had in his cachet, you know what I mean? That would make, and we were really like going through like who made sense, and that's a big thing. Yep. Who made sense, and that's another thing, like. Even in my approach, because honestly, excuse me.
You good, brother?
Honestly, starting this, my mindset was in the fact that when it was for the fans, I said, I want to do this project without the need for influencers. Yep. And that was a big thing. Yeah. Because coming off of the Gucci Durag that was worn by Travis on the cover of Paper Magazine.
Shout yourself out, baby.
Shout
it out.
Worn by fucking A$AP Rocky, Lil Uzi Vert, Playboy Cardi, Ray Shermer, Post Malone, Famous Dex, Rich the Kid,
let them know.
Like it literally. I mean, like I don't even know the full list. There were so many people, and then honestly, like the amount of like fakes that when, and honestly, it was funny. It was like the bootlegs of the bootleg that spun off of that. But that was what honestly Preston respected me for, like. Because like even it was iconic to him, and that's how I like first met him and built a relationship with him, was just us being together in Tokyo at the same time. And a lot of my relationships started like that. Same thing. I got to actually introduce Jerry Lorenzo to Verbal.
Word.
Like I put them in the same room together, and then we went to the grand opening of One Oak Tokyo, and like my homie Ellie was the big artist cat who like set the whole thing up, but like I was like yo, I'm gonna bring these cats. So it was Chris Gibbs from Union, and Jerry Lorenzo, and I invited them, and we were like in this Japanese restaurant where you walk in and you like slide a fish tank, and there's a private room in the back, like bananas.
Yeah, on some
movies, and like, and there's like Verbal sitting back there, and he was just like, yo, like, it's good to finally meet you. I heard so much about you. Then I'm tripping because obviously like. Coming from an era of MCM and Tisa and Ambush and Pow and you know what I mean, like I'm tripping because when I got the text like, yo, Verbal wants to meet you, I'm like, what? And so like, and then it just happened that Jerry and Chris were in town at the same time, and I was like, yo, you know, let's come through and like let's make this a night.
Yep.
And so we really blew it up like that, and that just really like Japan was my way to really tap in. So like I was out there again for Fashion Week. Sheck West comes through, Luca, and literally like Luca's trying to tell us what we're gonna do. Lucas, what do you say his last name? Sabat. And like, and literally Sheck is like, shut the fuck up. He speaks Japanese. He knows what he's doing. We're gonna do what he says. We're gonna like if he says we can smoke here, we can smoke here. If he says no, then no. And so like we're going crazy. And so like we go to the club actually a night early. And like this like you know Mo Bamba was like just come like you know it was really hitting like early, like the whole club wasn't going crazy yet.
Right.
And so it's actually my homie I brought JP the Wavy. He's actually like
JP the Wavy,
the next big thing for Japan. I brought him, and Sheck ended up liking him, and he went after Sheck, and the whole club turned up for him more than Sheck. And when it was like crazy, and Sheck respected that. But so anyways, and then we run it back the next night, and it was Tokyo Fashion Week, and it was Amazon with Ambush, and like that, and so like then Yoon wanted to meet me, and like Rolla, and like I Am Kiko, and so it's like we're in this back kitchen. It's like I Am Kiko, Rolla, Yoon, me, Luca, Sheck, Verbal, like just crazy.
Yeah, bro, crazy
atmosphere. Energy was just crazy. And so we go in the club, and I'm putting a Gucci durag on Yoon in the club and taking photos like in the DJ booth, like, and we're just going bananas. We end up going actually, like it was crazy. After the club, we end up going back to Sheck's hotel room, like just me, him, Luca, and Hoi, and we're turning up to his song in his room, and I accidentally stomp on his PlayStation 4 and I break it. And I reached into my bag and I just handed him $400. I was like, well, my bad. And so I was like, yo, he was like, yo, I'm gonna try to see if it works still. You know what I mean? Like, he was hurt, but he was like, yo, it's good. Next day I see him, he was like, yeah, it's broke. And I was like, all right, keep the cash. Like, I was like, my bad, bro. I was like, if you want, like, I'll take you to the store. We can get you
like hands on the money.
Yeah.
Like, continue to press play.
We're in Japan. Yeah. And so we keep turning up. Yeah. And so like it was a thing. And so that's what was really cool for me was that like being able to speak Japanese. Honestly, like Heron and Sheck and Jerry and even Virgil and a lot of them like that I had moments with over there. They were like, I want to speak Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
And so it was really my authentic in because they had no choice but to respect the fact that I'm from America, but I'm only here temporarily. However, I'm speaking the language, and this is something they want to be a part of. And they can't just be like, oh, he's a hype kid here around. It's like,
nah, he here.
He really with the shit.
He a part of this. Yeah.
Instant validation. You know what I mean? Instant validation in a crazy way. And so spinning back into Durag Dev, you know, and so it's those relationships. So we come back, Tom seating. And anyway, so Billy grabs it. Random day, all of a sudden, phone starts blowing up. Billy's got it over his shoulder.
Iconic,
right? Walking. So it's the paparazzi. She's got, and guess what? You know what shoes she got on?
The Volt.
She got the Volt. She got the Volt forces on.
Right.
She's walking, and she's got the whole Volt outfit. She's got the hoodie. Oh, must have been a hot day. Got the hoodie over her shoulder, but it's showing big time like a flag.
Yeah.
And literally like phone starts blowing, and I'm like, oh my God, do I need to post this photo? And I had two business partners from the Durags, and the other one, he likes to like remain silent. He's a ghost, but he's a genius. Like he did the website for Fruition, Stussy. He did Meek's Antisocial. He did 424. He's doing right now. I can't even get his time because he's doing everything Fear of God. He's with Jerry night and day.
Yeah.
And so literally he's like no, and so he knows how to create an experience, and he knows like. He's seen the rotation. He's been there. He's been there through Neek. Like he was right there with Neek through it all, and getting the Better Business Bureau emails and the whole nine. Right. So, anyways, he just knows. And so, literally, like, he's like, "Yo, Dev, wait on it." And so, sure enough, she ends up taking a picture later where she's like selfie picture, squat, you know, like in the mirror, squats down, and then at first she didn't tag me. And I was like, yo, she took the picture. And I was like, oh, she tagged every other brand. Right. I was like,
brand. That's
and
like,
so, and I was like, oh, like you
yeah.
tagged everyone else but me.
Right.
And so I was like, but she posted it though.
Yeah.
She wearing,
It's
she
in the
rocking
pictures
with it, and I'm like,
visually
you know
there,
what? I'ma still let the energy, like, I'ma still like,
Gotta
like,
live.
you receive
like
it,
I'ma
yeah.
still receive,
Yeah.
right? I'ma still be in this receiving mode, and so, and like and this is why I brought this relationship up before, because it comes back here in this point in the conversation. Made in Tokyo goes on Instagram, DMs Billy, and goes, yo, that's Durag Dev. Oh, thank you so much, tag.
Oh, cause she probably couldn't remember that it was.
She didn't know, because I
never-
only put my logo is on the tags are nothing but a like Saturn tilted with the print on it.
Yeah.
So I came
saw that
from
on the
Luxor.
website.
It was very galactic. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what's
Fuck
up
with
in the
that. I
upper
fuck with
left hand
that.
corner. Thank
Yeah, I
you.
fuck
So
with that.
because at the time, like Durag Dev was really for just people who wanted to buy my shit. So like it wasn't like it's from my own personal Instagram.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's from me. So I'm like, I wasn't gonna put Durag Dev on the tag.
No,
it just needed to have a symbol on some print shit.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know, right?
Right.
And so, Made in Tokyo. That's what I'm saying. A genuine cat. From his account, he DM'd to her, you know, yo, that's my boy Durag Dev's brand. That's the hoodie. Oh, thank you so much. Boom, tag. Next thing you know, lit. Like, you know what I mean? Then we're going. From that, I was spending a lot of time with Itai. Itai was also doing.
Yeah.
I met Itai through this company LDH. So I actually was like, with this Japanese cat who is the CEO of the conglomerate, and he was honestly a hype beast himself.
Yeah.
So I didn't have to explain anything to him, and he really took me in. And while he was taking me in, like, I'm meeting nothing but bigwigs, having dinner with the founder of Capcom.
Ooh,
then like next
major.
day is like dinner with the owners of One Oak. Then next night is dinner with the and so every dinner is like, and so he's just he's mentoring me and just bringing me places, and he's just loving the energy. He's loving that I took something from Japanese culture and I was so passionate about it, and he's watching me turn this from an idea into a product, and he's watching how people are reacting to it. And so he introduced me to Itai. Ended up spending a lot of time with Itai. Itai was doing some personal styling for her. The stylist, I guess, contacted him. He's like, yeah, that's Durag Dev. At least that's what he says. Or they could have been off my tag. And so, but honestly, like Itai, super like, Itai's done nothing but like honestly looked out for me. He was one of the few genuine friends I had in LA. He constantly like would throw me a pair of like Visvim Christos, but not even ask for money. Like he would make sure that I got a pair of Christos in a size, which is a big deal, not just because they're Christos, but because it's in an XL.
Right.
Like
that's
something
out his
that
way to make sure you had it.
Having relationships with Japanese people, I didn't even have a XL Christo already.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's that rare. Because if they make 50 mediums and smalls, they're making 5 XLs.
Right.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
They
right.
don't
They don't wear XL. They don't even wear
small. Yeah.
Right. They don't even wear 12, 13 out there.
Right.
So, anyways, stylist ends up either through that tag or through him. They end up emailing me, contacting me. Hey, we love your stuff. Billy's got a show coming up. We'd love to get pieces. And so I played the game right. And this is actually another thing, because like this game, there's a lot of dancing.
Make sure y'all listening to this.
Like
gems.
This game, there's a lot of dancing in it. And this was a conversation I had just yesterday with Made in Tokyo.
Yeah.
Because even with some success and even with some acknowledgement and even with Billy liking the stuff, there's still such a thing as jumping the gun and being too much in a moment of excitement.
Yeah, caught up in the hype.
And so at this moment, like anyone would usually bend over their back to get pieces to Billy, but instead I low-key I just gave her a shirt.
I fell back.
I gave her like one white shirt and one black hoodie. And I was like, yo, she's gonna like I'm gonna give her this, like, cause this was all I had.
Right.
And this is gonna get her to bite. And so sure enough, Size hit me back. Oh my God, Billy loves it. She wants it head to toe, both colors. Do you have it? And I'm like, well, I don't have it, but, and they're like, well, we'll pay for it. And I'm like, okay, then I'll make it.
Right.
And so I'm like sweatpants, shorts, shirt, t-shirt, and I didn't even have the idea for that yet.
Right.
I was doing because you got to keep in mind, this was like my other projects finishing, people liking the tattoos, me jumping from the do-rags and the other merch and coming up with something that's from me, honestly, to keep my pockets straight. So like this was like the project that I needed.
Yeah.
So we're going, just through the motion with things on, and this is why it was like just me, because I didn't do it with my business partners. I didn't do it with anyone else. I did this project for fun, from me, for the fans. Wasn't looking for influencers. Really was just believing in the fact that, hey, I'm gonna build this up from the people that like me, and I feel like it's gonna grow naturally from there. And so, like I said, I bait Billie along. She ends up wanting the whole outfit, head to toe, both colors. We make it for little bit of time goes down, comes around. Next thing you know, first day she wears the all white. Big show, sold out, like Sweden, Europe performance. Next day she wears the all black. And it was just like crazy amount of photos for both. Meanwhile, I'm actually like at home going through it. And people are blowing up. Everyone's blowing up my phone. Yeah. Instagram going crazy. Instagram going nuts. Phone going nuts. My phone is like on the side, is like on the floor on the side of my bed while I'm like in bed depressed watching anime. And so then I'm looking at it like, all right, cool, I probably should repost this. Right. And so like it's crazy because you got to realize like, and this is where like, I really wanted to get real at, because there's maybe, and not just for the fact that like, all right, because I literally lived life with XXXTentacion. I'm on a tour bus. Me and him both have the same bunk. We're the same, like the both have the middle bunk. So I'm waking, damn near waking up. We're like this. Yeah, literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like it's bunks like a jail like like it's
you're on a tour bus.
Right, we're on a tour bus. Yeah. So I'm really like living life with, and then lots of just moments of working with different artists and this and that, and even back originally, first people I was like really messing with was like Vic Mensa and Skrillex here. Word. And Ray Shremmer. And so literally, whether it was being numb to it or I don't know, just kind of like, all right, cool, this is happening. I'm going to post it and let people know about it. But it wasn't really until the next month that I realized like how big of a deal it was. Right, so it took me like a month. Major. And I was like, all right, I need to drop some shit now. And I was like, well, I was like, since Billie made me make shorts and this and this and that, like, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and make what I made for her and release it for everyone else. Yep. And so I do that drop. And honestly, like, everything goes amazing. And I'm like, I'm back up. And next day, PayPal decides to want to be funny. Oh, man. And so because of a previous account that I was no longer a part of, but because my name was attached to it at a certain point in time, the people stopped servicing that account went negative. PayPal decided to stop offering me service. So I didn't even get to get 24 hours of sales in. The account and like at this point, this is why I'm gonna get real. There's so many times throughout this process where like things are going amazing, but like life is still a roller coaster. Oh yeah. So the year before, I bought an i8, 6 days later, totaled it, almost killed myself, broke my skull. A week later, ex passes. A week later, my parents divorce. And so that was last summer. Then this summer, I have a situation where I fall into my front windshield, crack it, basically get removed completely from this. I was living in a $2.6 million high-rise in Marina Del Rey with a Japanese CEO, multimillionaire. He's moving back to Japan all of a sudden. I'm no longer his spoiled little grandson. And like now I'm coming back with my tail between my legs. And honestly, I really got comfortable. So I'm living like I have the i8. I'm living in a $2.6 million house. I have the Murakami in the hallway. I have the Bear Bricks. I'm in Marina Del Rey. When I pull up, they valet park my car for me. I don't even park my car.
Know your name.
Girls are like when I go to the house, girls are tripping. And this dude, he let me flex everything like it was my own. I was damn near like his like he never had a son, so he
adopted you.
He adopted me, so he was my mentor, but he treated me like a father. But he was giving me game though at the same. Yeah. So it was like I was there, like it was like this organic mentorship, fathership came about. Yeah. And honestly, you know, he pushed me to like, okay, you need to know how to DJ. You got to get your sewing up. You got to get your Illustrator up. All things I know how to do. There's things that need to be fine tuned. He wanted me to have an Altier, and you know, but nonetheless, I'm in LA. LA girls obviously like. Yeah. Between the whip I got from my own hard work, but the crib, you got to come in. Crib's ridiculous. Couple $100,000
in Marina Del Rey.
Right.
Not
okay.
We talking about Santa Monica.
See, that's right.
Talking about Glendale, California.
And that's
no disrespect to anybody living in Glendale. I lived in LA for about 9 months. In North Hollywood. And North Hollywood is cool.
But we talking about Marina.
We're talking about Marina Del Rey. I had to interject.
I don't even understand fully. That's the thing. Yeah. Bro, please enlighten.
I'm a Midwest kid with my boys over here. Yeah. But real shit though. You're in Marina Del Rey. You got Beverly Hills, Marina Del Rey, Santa Monica. All of those areas is high end areas. That's movie lifestyle, bro. Like that's everyday movie lifestyle. You feel me? Like North Hollywood is like, and I mean Chris Brown, I think got a crib out in North Hollywood. Yeah. At least I seen him out there a few times. Yeah. So you got people that's got big names that's got cribs out there. Right. You know, I've been in one of my boys, Elijah. My boy Elijah, he just shot or produced the new Rambo movie.
Right.
So Elijah had a crib out in North Hollywood that was fucking crazy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But anyway, I say all that to say, I'm gonna keep saying Marina Del Rey because you in a $2.6 million Marina Del Rey crib. That's fire. So I gotta show love on that. But my bad. Go ahead.
No. You're good. Honestly, like I was like trying to get a break for it.
Oh, you good?
My bad. I hope you didn't go get a water. My bad.
Nah, it's all good.
I was just like, yo, my mouth is so dry. I've been talking so much.
No, you good, it's man. We appreciate the gems, man. Like this is the biggest thing about coming on the show is people got to see when you talk about these brands, right? We talking about working with major brands, collabing with major brands to start your own grassroots brand.
Yes, sir.
To my guy on the far right, my partner in crime, he's got a shoe brand and a clothing brand. I got a clothing brand. You know what I mean? Yeah. I know exactly how you feel. So to hear this story on that level, I've only experienced my experience in the U.S. You talking about international experiences, bro. That's people need to hear that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my backstory is dealing with a lot of athletes and being in the sportswear aspects. Like, I've experienced those things where everything could be going great, but then something personal happened and you're like, fuck, I got to go through this shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. So, like, to hear you talk about it, like, it's good for people to understand what's going on with you on the surface level, you know, and beyond surface level, but what's going on with you internally.
Right. And I honestly, I love that actually I get to do it like this because I'm talking with my best friend and he was like, you know, there's a lot of things going on. And really, honestly, this is a thing where like everything is fine and dandy on Instagram. Yeah. Because for me, I understood that my slogan was presentation proves perception.
Mm-hmm. That's real.
And however you present things is how people take it. So meanwhile, I'm depressed in bed watching anime. No one knows, not showered, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like in my drawers, like dirty floor, like 10 tropical smoothie cups.
They probably think you're somewhere turned up.
You know what I mean? Like, right. And so, like, meanwhile that's going on, like, Billie's, like, performing and the stuff head to toe, but, like, no one, and I'm reposting it, and everyone's telling me that things are amazing, but really no one knows what's going on.
Right.
And so, like, all of this, honestly, kind of segued from something, and at first it was something that I was, like, really scared to hide, or really embarrassed to show.
Yeah.
I really wanted to obviously to, you don't want to put your messes out on Instagram.
No, of course not.
But I heard something and honestly, I think it was from Drake that said, "Let your messes be your message." And so in the development and like you were saying, there's a lot that goes on with. I've been on the U.S. tour, from small artist level to, like I said, XXXTentacion level, and honestly, he didn't even reach stadium yet. But it was still, you know, it was $1 million tour, big level, like bigger level merch, really, like on it. Like at one point he was like, yo, because people were acting up and not doing their things, and he was like, I'll cancel all this right now because I'm making more on merch than I am on a tour.
Facts.
So like we making more on event, like we go back and just design and that's it, and all y'all can go home.
Yeah.
Cause like like people kept taking a shit on the bus, and like for some reason we weren't allowed to, and it was like it cost him $500 every time someone took one, and like people kept sneaking in and taking one. And like it was like weird as hell.
That's a little listen,
it was
man,
a little weird as hell, yeah.
You should, let alone a motherfucker shit in your crib.
Right. We're on a tour bus. We're living on that bus for 2 months. You know what I mean?
Man,
like, don't do that.
Can't get it removed.
So, and then, like I said, with the exactly. And so, then we got to segue over to my Japanese friend Ellie.
Yeah.
Now, Japan, whole nother culture, whole nother situation. So the reason why he brought me on for that was because of the energy that I had on stage for the event show. Because I've always had this interesting kind of like dynamic, not problem, just kind of like a where do I fall?
Right.
And that was that I'm out with Heron Preston, but he's like, you're not like a designer. You're kind of like an artist. You got like artist energy.
Right.
So like when we were over in Europe, when it was Ski Master Slump God tour in Europe, it was me, Ski, DJ Scheme, and Cole Bennett, and we're in Europe, and the merch sells out before the show starts, and even security was like, Dev, we want you on stage, and Ski wanted me on stage. He was like, cause it was by himself, and so like he felt more, and then sure enough, he performed better with me up there, and my energy and me feeding him
off of you,
every time he got tired, I'd push him, you know what I mean, moments like that, and so I understood how to interact, again, the dance. Right. And so when to appear, when to not appear, when to let the artist shine, when to let them have their moment, and when to have their back and be there. And it's like really things that you got to know, and because there's times where I've almost crossed that boundary. Yeah. There was a time with X, I got snatched up on stage by our own security, by the back of my neck, because I was helping him. It was Seattle's show. He was about to pass out, and he's on stage. And I felt that he needed energy, and I came, and I was just like, yo.
Yeah, trying to help him.
You got this. And we were here on a psychedelic level, and I was like, yo, take some energy. Yeah. And security comes and yanks me, and he's just like, no, stop. And so he brings me back out, and next thing you know, he gives me the mic, and so I got the mic for look at me. Crazy ass moment. I got that, and so like he hears me just screaming, going crazy, and he looks over me. So anyways, like, I've been brought into these situations for energy. So I'm on this Japan tour. The homie Ellie, he was like, yo, I've seen the way you interact on stage. I want you. Now keep in mind, I designed his stage performance costume.
That's crazy.
But I'm also on stage with him to be there as a source. Yeah. And so because what he wants to do is he loved X, so he wanted to take that stage performance energy and apply it to something that had never been done in Japanese pop music ever. Mm-hmm. Wow. And that was bring that Chief Keef Chicago entourage stage like feeling. And so
how Chief Keef bring all them the glory boys, right? Bring them up. Yeah.
Going crazy. So first show, we're going through rehearsal, and he brings me on, and I'm on stage in general. I'm letting him know, because obviously like design, I'm like, yo, this display screen's crooked, this needs to be readjusted, that needs to be readjusted, just little things, yo, like, and he's asking me every little detail. Does this look good? Does that look good? Does this look good? Does that look good? And so I'm walking all over stage, we're looking at things, and I'm with him, and so this is crazy when you hear this next part. And eventually I'm in the back room, and they're telling me, stage wa abunai desu kara, and so they're just telling me like, yo, like, because they're saying because stage is dangerous, it would be good if you weren't there. And I'm like, stage is dangerous? And Japanese have a way of like beating around the bush when they want to like tell you no.
Right.
And so instead they won't tell you no. They'll beat around the bush. They're telling me stage is crazy. I'm in the green room and I'm like this, like pouting like a little baby. Ellie comes back and he's like, what's wrong? He's like, something's off. And I was like, they just told me stage is dangerous, so they didn't want me there. He's like, what? He's like, and so he's actually Japanese black, so this is hilarious because he's born and raised in Japan, but he still got that nigga inside of him. So like, he's like, nigga, this my tour. Hold on. He starts going around. Who told Devin not to go on stage? And so it was just real. So Japanese culture, in their culture, they've never had someone step on stage that wasn't the artist performing. Right. It was not a thing. There was no There is no hype man. That's not a thing that exists in their culture.
Wow.
So literally, they're telling him no. The company is telling him no. Showtime comes, he goes, so my boy who designed this outfit, Devin, where you on? I'm such and such. He's like, no, what? Devin, where you? Devin. And I was like, and someone is like, Devin, he's calling for you.
Go.
And so I come out, and he picked the perfect song. I didn't even know what song he was going to do, honestly, but then it ended up being one that I just so happened to help him write a little bit in the studio, and so I knew it a little bit, and it was a high energy song, and we did it, and like because we were not supposed to do that, our energy was out the roof.
That's crazy.
I mean, we were literally breaking culture.
Yeah,
we were like we were like setting history. It had never been done before.
That's crazy.
And so, and like keep in mind, I'm the CEO of the company. Loves me.
Right.
Like the high up people, like. They knew, but all the people right under there, they were not okay with it. So we do the show. They didn't know that because of the years of me and him spent together and me being on his Instagram, that the fans knew my name. So when I came out and then they all said my name,
that was
the company was like,
oh,
wait, what? Wait, they know him already.
Yeah,
wait, the crowd just went crazy for him. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, we didn't understand this dynamic.
Yeah,
and then when they saw the energy and it was like, oh, this made the show better.
Yeah. Sorry.
And he was, and so he's like, told y'all.
Yeah, we might need that.
Told y'all.
Yeah,
so guess what?
Yeah.
Now, literally, because of one show I wasn't there, I got in trouble for not being on stage.
Right.
Like, so literally to the point it was like, now you're in the schedule. So it was just crazy, like crazy concept to go from being banned to like mandatory.
Right.
And so just like crazy parallels here. So, anyways, like, really going into Japan and learning those do's or don'ts. And so that tour, that situation, that's what really gets me in with the CEO and the founder, and they start liking me. That's how I end up in Marina Del Rey in this house. And he's like he got the Bentley drop top and he got the G-Wagon. I got my whip, but he's like, yo, Dev, like, here's the keys. Like, if you want to take them, like, if you want to take the Bentley today, you got it. If you want to take this. And so, like, at this point, like, I'm on peak and I'm not even on peak.
Right.
But like he got me. So Crib got the $300,000 Birkin, is painted on it, got the original, the 1,000% plus size Medcoms, like all the Murakami, all the cause artwork, the most expensive stuff that you could find is there in the house.
Lace.
And I'm taking the cause college drop, not college drop. I'm sorry. What's the Ye album when Cause did the artwork and Ye's rap? He's in a gray suit with the graduation album, and like I'm taking the real the pain for that joint, and it's like, and I'm like, oh, can I put this in my room? And yeah, go ahead. Like he's just let me take pieces just to sauce up my environment. Yeah. So I'm just, and I didn't even understand. I'm lit Marina Del Rey at the time, honestly. But I started to understand because I was like, damn. Brother. I was like, the next door neighbor, he does IT for Facebook, and then this person does. And it was like everyone around me was like, everyone was not just a someone, but a big one. Yeah. And the girls were like, they were either like, you know what I mean, like wives of someone or a person themselves, and so like. And then they were getting a kick out of me because I'm like the only young black tatted up person there. Yeah. And so, all the husbands that weren't home, like, the wives. They look right. Need that escape. Right. So I'm going to the gym, you know what I mean? I'm hitting the pool.
Shirt off, walking around, shirt off.
Right. And I'm artist, so I'm not even fit the way I need to be yet. Like, I'm still like, I'm
Rockstar presence.
I got the rockstar presence. Exactly. And they feeling that. They feeling the energy.
Ain't about being super shape.
And so and it just general still. And like still like I'm pulling up my whip and it was still nice whip. Like and people there had whips, but it was still a thing. And eventually like I'm bringing girls back to the crib and I'm like, oh my God, this where you live. Got 2 wine refrigerators, got 2 wine you know what I mean? Like so he was a real player. Like he really it was a bachelor's pad. Like, and he brought me into this. So I'm living this environment, and honestly, what starts to happen is start to get comfortable. So honestly, like I'm in the house, and I'm going to all these big dinners and these things, and running into all these people, and like then it was like, oh, I only popped out to the Fear of God event because it was 5 minutes from the house. It was at the Nike facility that was down there, like over in that area. Yeah. And And then I'm not really trying to go up to like Hollywood to the club, and I'm not. And like E-Ty's inviting me to the studio all the time, and like he's going to the studio with like Young Thug, and Future, and like, and I'm
supposed
like,
to be in there,
like,
fam.
right? And I'm not, and I'm like, nah, I'm sorry, like, how real can I be on this?
Oh, say what you
honestly, I'm gonna pop this perk and I'm gonna watch anime. Yeah. And so. And like I got the vegan spot right by me. I got the food. I'm eating that. And so like I have my ritual. I have my routine, and it was really ended up being really toxic because my routine began to become, it became to get my food, get my buffalo cauliflower vegan pizza.
I fuck with that. that's up my alley. Get
my perk 30.
Yeah.
And sit down and get my anime and watch it.
Yeah.
And honestly, like that at first, the drugs was a way for me to work. I got crazy work done for some reason off of it.
Yeah, which I've heard that before.
And it can really be in that mood where like I would like watch one episode of anime and all of a sudden I would be addicted to being on my phone, and then it'd be the computer and I would just be going off. Mm-hmm. And I got workloads done that I had never could imagined. But eventually it turned into eventually that slump mode started kicking in earlier and earlier. Mm-hmm. And you start taking more and more, and you start wanting to go out less and less. Mm-hmm. And the thing is like I'm noticing that I don't got to go out, and like Billie's wearing the stuff, so like I'm fine.
Yeah. So you.
And this is when she's just in the first volt. But like people want the stuff, and like I don't got to go out because like people just already want the stuff. And I'm like, well, I got my fans in Japan already, and like what I didn't notice is like slowly I'm getting less and less creative. Mm-hmm. And slowly like I'm getting into this really bad ritual where like I'm a person of habit. Yeah. I ate Eggos every morning for breakfast for like 10 years, probably drank cranberry juice for lunch for 10 years. Like I'm a person of habit.
Right.
And that could be a really good thing and a really bad thing if it's with something that's wrong. And so don't get me wrong, like there's times for everything, there's a balance to everything, but you know, eventually a bad habit was formed, and because I had the plugs, I was starting to turn down crazy situations.
So let me ask you this, on that note, where you at now? Because I check
before we hang this up,
I need to know, because I checked the site and the shit sold out. Shit sold out. You know what I mean? And like off the story alone, I'm a fan. Mm-hmm. And you got a brand and it's dope. I don't care who wear it, it's dope. The story behind it is dope. Wow. So I go on the site, it's sold out. Now that you got past that moment in time, because honestly, man, we all can speak from personal experience. It's a moment of growth.
Yeah.
It's not a setback, it's a moment of growth.
Yeah.
And we want to know, viewers want to know, where you at now and what can we look forward to from you?
So honestly, the reason why I came here with so much energy and so much excitement is because literally in the last like few weeks, actually when I came here a few months ago, I got just healthy again, got a good diet, got up, started moving, got out of that ritual. Mm-hmm. But honestly, really just as of really the last 2 weeks, I did a couple restocks before then, did the orange, but I really got my mojo back.
That's right.
And I'm not gonna lie, this was the biggest struggle that I've ever had because I was at this height. I had my front windshield on my car cracked. It's an i8 and I'm riding around with a broken front windshield. Then it's got bald tires. I'm riding around looking ghetto. Honestly, like got bad habits, so I'm not on my creativity. I'm not making money. You know what I mean? Things were in a rut, and luckily, like I don't know what hit, but something hit, and I was able to make that switch where it's like literally like 180. I'm on top of everything again. Mm-hmm. Something sparked, and I almost can't remember what it is. It might have been a series of events, to be honest, but like I saw that my momentum had stopped.
Yeah.
And like I didn't do the Roger collab, I didn't do the Starwalk collab, I didn't do these different collabs. I passed up on them time because I wasn't texting people back. And literally through the strength of like some restocks and an orange drop, and then honestly like literally 2 days ago, Billie wearing the all orange outfit, right now the factory just got the multicolor done. Like it's already done and it's done 2 weeks ahead of time. Didn't even know that was gonna honestly be done like pre-release, like date to date, but like literally, kid you guys not, honestly the hardest rut I've ever been through, like just between family stuff going on, the pinnacle of where I was living to like, oh, I'm going back to Vegas and like, am I coming back like dog, like tail between my legs kind of thing.
Right.
With busted certain things, like because of bad habits, money pocket's not right.
Yeah.
And so, not to mention like PayPal freezing 15,000.
Yeah, that's real shit.
Like still right now, I'm waiting 2 more months.
I was about to say,
I got it in the
like
account right now. I got a 180 day wait.
Yeah.
So they like, and so I got 15,000. I'm just waiting, and so then you got it, and that was another level of the big depression for me.
Yeah,
this is the first time I was like, yo, honestly, I'm about to quit.
Yeah.
Damn.
I really, and so like Billie's in the stuff in the white and black at the time. And it was after she had won. It was that drop. It was they stopped me that 24 hours. I'm done. I'm gonna go get a job at Off-White.
Hell no.
I was like, my homie opened it up, and I was like, I was there for a second mentally, and it really, like, I kid you not, it was like my friends pulled me up out of this position, and
you got a good group of friends, bro.
An amazing group of friends, and that's why like, even to like last night, to moments before I came here, I was just thanking them because like. The switch in momentum that I was able to make, the like that pit I was able to come back from, that low I was able to come back from, like literally it's almost bringing me to tears right now. I'm trying to hold it in because it was the hardest like time that I had yet, and everything was being taken away from me. The status, the money, I almost saw my car at one point because it was just getting ruined, and my connections, my relationships, you know, everything, and like, but nonetheless, like, my group of friends pulled me up out of that, supported me through it, my mom, and literally just made me get up off my ass and get moving. And so, really, like, and it was hard. I'm talking about, like, struggling every day to get up and get moving. And luckily, like, through some, not even luckily, honestly, just through some real motivation and some, like, determination, and it'll sound like basic words, but really pushing myself to get up and get at it, eventually that momentum swung, and it swung back the other way.
Yeah.
And it's like, now I'm here. Now literally like
right.
Billy just wore this shit and the internet's going crazy again. Now the collection is already done, and then in a week after the collection releases this Friday, the orange is gonna release for everyone, and then like fuck it, I'll announce it here, like Billy's stylist team, like they want to sit down and create a collection together.
Hell
like,
yeah, that's
like,
what I'm
so
talking
like
about.
literally
Man.
like everything just went like the opposite direction. Like, and already those drafts are already done. All of winners, like it's all designed. The first production's already done. Spring and summer's all the CADs are halfway done. Like
cooking.
The whip got a new front windshield, new tires, new
Shout
brakes,
out to the
new
whip,
rims.
man.
Like,
easy work.
Right. Shout out to
the
Devvvv.
whip.
Like,
Hell
G
yeah.
shit. And so like honestly, like and that was a part of it, like getting everything back. Me myself getting like
mojo.
my hair
Right.
retwisted, getting cut up, getting fresh, your nails clipped, you know, just being like it was.
I
getting
saw you on
the
a
mojo
couple Jordan food reviews too.
Right.
You out here.
That's
really
what I'm
out
saying.
here.
Shout out
Jordan.
Jordan.
Shout out Jo. Right,
Dropping
getting
bombs.
and that was the thing. Like my friends pulling me up and out. I was
Yes.
starting to not show face, and
Yes,
so it was
sir.
like, so I had to pop up to like Day in Vegas and the after party, and that's when I popped out, and like Guap Dad was there, and even through him, like Guap Dad coming and being like, yo, like it wasn't me, like Dev was the one who started Durags, like, and like and then all of a sudden like he came and it was like, yo, like Dev, what's up? And then like kind of just, what are you doing now? Like pumping me up and just being hella cool. Made in Tokyo calling me, getting me up, and then like literally just yesterday, like being like, yo, I was talking with Billy and like she was literally just saying, like he was like, I was thanking her for wearing it, or I told her you said thank you. Like for this recent orange wear, and like just her going crazy in it. Honestly, the material she did, the performance, like she really only gets it to perform in. And she wears it head to toe. I'm talking 05 Lil Wayne Bape status. Like that's the energy that like I'm coming with right now, and it's just crazy to come back from like the feeling I was feeling before. And like literally the convo with him where it's like, yo, like Billy, fuck it. Like she's saying like, I fucking love his brand. He's like, he's amazing. Like and then he's telling her a little bit of my story, and she's just like, wow, that's crazy. I would have never imagined he was going through that. And like, oh my goodness, like he's fucking amazing. His shit is so dope. And like, and like literally just all these pieces of my friends, my family, artists, like letting me know my value, what I'm, and just like this big process to literally like, honestly, even bring me here in this moment. Like the timing of this, like had this been a month ago, like I wouldn't have had this energy right now. I wouldn't have had this same like story like right now, because literally it was all these moments. And so like it's really just fucking amazing, because it was like we just took the whole, I got a whole team now that's gonna be, that's another thing, a team, the importance of a team. Like I'm not doing it alone, because the importance of a team is vital. You need the friends and the team there to support you and do what you're doing, because literally like I tried to do it by myself and it didn't work, and that's how I ended up in that rut. And the energy that was just created today with me simply making a group chat with the management, pulling the factory and the operational manager and the advertisement manager and my own mother to oversee everything, because don't get it twisted, family, make sure it's gonna be straight, and like pulling everything into it literally to create this energy. And like my Bryce telling me, Dev, you aren't the next babe. Like you're not gonna be the next babe. You already are the next babe. Like, and that's again the friends like just telling me, you know what I mean? Telling me like, and just pumping me up. And I needed that. For honestly, I needed multiple. I needed it. And we need that as artists. We need that from multiple sources sometimes when we're really going through it. And that's why that group is so fundamental, because now like with them, I came here bumping 9 a.m. in Dallas Drake, feeling like scared for the first time. Everything just clicked. What if I don't do the numbers they predict? Like, because literally I can feel I'm about to do numbers though. And like this is the next Bape, and it's without a doubt, and people can feel it's authentic. And I was thinking, I want to be Lil Bape, Lil Wayne, 05, all Bape fit. And it's like, no, Billie Eilish is in it now. That is the biggest artist right now. This already is Bape. That already is the comparison. My post today was Durag the next Bape ? Like and like that was like, that's all the way the vibe and the mood. And then like it's literally crazy, because like honestly from this moment right here, like from this podcast, like y'all about to see shit get crazy. Y'all here. We here. Y'all about to see this get crazy. Like and y'all don't even understand the energy you guys gave me through having me, and like how divine this is, and just the vibrational alignment of everything getting into place. And like the way the mind starts working, things start manifesting so fast when you really think so strong. It's just it's so not a joke. Like, and things happen faster when your mind can work even harder towards that positivity, and it's a snowball always. You know, as much as you can you can snowball that positivity, it gets bigger faster and faster and starts to get crazy and it's like just this morning now, all these new artists, and Smoke Perp FaceTime me because he wants to model it, and Travis Barker, and like the most random genres of people, and like Beyonce stylists, like crazy stuff, like just going on. And I know like people about to hit me for collabs. I got news for you. Honestly, in a couple years, Nigo might buy Bape back just to collab, because I could tell like he wants to have that Bape feel back. That's why he did the print with Human Made, because he misses the Bape feel, and he doesn't understand why people won't get over Bape, but inside he really wishes he still had that. And so like it's been the circle right now, and the kids in Japan, they're wearing the hoodies ganged up in the video like it's the new Bape, because it is the new Bape. And like that's how we come in.
G shit.
My brother, Durag Dev.
Durag Dev. Hey, man. It's another episode of Friends and Brands, man. Y'all know where we at. South 4800 Maryland. No, what's it? 4800 South Maryland Boulevard. Yesterday's fit.
I'll fuck with this spot. Y'all don't understand.
Hey, Tokyo being here. Austin. Tokyo being, you said Tokyo being here.
Oh yeah.
Tell Tokyo come on the show, man.
This spot crazy.
Look, I'm saying it. I'm gonna start bringing people in here. They come to town, I'll start bringing them in here. I'll let them know, because that's what I used to do. That's what I used to do. Like when it was like Vic or Skrillex or like Ray Sharp. There's been different artists. I was bringing them to, like, I was taking them to feature and fruition or wherever. But like it's been a while since I've been back in the city, and like I need a spot to bring them. You know what I mean? Somewhere where y'all gonna show.
These two got their pulse on the vintage game, man. Austin and Jesse, man. Yesterday's fits.
Yesterday's fits, and you know what I mean?
Friends and brands. That's right.
Right.
Another
100.
Slack.